Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, it is that time again. It's Friday night, 6 p.m. It means Sports Unfolded. And you know what? Sounds a little different. Looks a little different because it is different. Eric is in Vegas. He left us here, you know, to pick up the mantle and run with it. I've got James, who's always in the comments. James, how are you today? Welcome back. It's been a
Hey,
while.
thanks. It's been a long time. Thanks for having me, Ron. Yeah, excited to be here. This will be a fun show.
Oh, it is. You know, the cat's away, so the mice have to play. So we never know what's going to happen now because now I get to dictate what happens. So you know what that means. We're going to lose plenty of Christmas cards
Mm.
and raise all hell, right?
Oh yeah.
So we got a great show. You know, you don't want to miss this one. I'm telling you, this is going to be a good one. We've got so much going on in sports. It just gets crazy. Even with, the addition of the NCAA brackets going on, that is one of the
Hmm.
biggest times in sports in the year, right? We got so much to open up and discuss. We also may have Kenny joining us later on today, so I can't wait for that as well. Kenny's always a character on the show, and that will surely be great. So we're gonna hold off with the NBA for when Kenny joins us. Except, we got this lead off story right here. Um, they've been sold. Boston
Pretty big.
Celtics have been sold, and it is record-breaking numbers.
Crazy.
$6.1 billion, which is now the highest, so that sale
Yeah.
of the Washington Commanders didn't last very long as number one. Boston Celtics. First of all, the group that bought it, he's been all over the news, giving his interviews and stuff. So he really wants to be out there in the public,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of scares me because I hope it's not going to be a Jerry Jones thing.
We know how you feel about Jerry Jones. You
Yeah.
know what? I got to echo that sentiment though. What Jerry Jones has done to the Dallas Cowboys is
Scary.
scary. That's
Like,
a good word.
it's kind of a mixed bag. Early in his years, he put the Dallas Cowboys on the map, and he
Mhm.
made them the franchise in sports.
Yeah.
But there is a point where you just stay in it too long. And you think that you're effective and you're now countering everything that you did at the beginning of the Dallas Cowboy history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think about this ownership? Bill Chisholm, who is a managing partner at Symphony Technology Group. He's a local guy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
you
been
know.
a Boston Celtics fan since he was a young kid.
Yeah,
Uh, so there's a positive. It's not, even though it's an equity firm that's taking it over. At least it's not, a bunch of talking heads. It seems like.
right. And also in that ownership group, Rob Hale, who was a current shareholder, So he went in, and Bruce Beal Jr., I have no idea who this guy is. Have no idea who he is. But the voice is obviously going to be Bill Chisholm. He's going to be the voice. And he's been voicing his reasons for the team and what he plans to do and the whole bit. Should we be worried about the Boston Celtics?
See, in my opinion, I don't think so. At least based on who the head is. Again, being a Boston Celtics fan, seems genuinely wanting to go for championships with this team. I don't know if you saw in that deal there, but Grusbeck will remain the governor until 2028. So I guess it's just sort of a little transitionary period there, so that way, he doesn't drop any bombs on the team, I guess.
Right. I mean, it's probably a good thing. You got to have a transition of some sort, right? I mean, you can't just okay, everybody out, now we come in, because then you don't know what's going on. There are going to be a lot of details in, just basics that you're not going to understand how to do because of, the way they operated. Just a simple thing as logging into your computer. You got to know all that stuff. You got to know where everything is, the files or whatever what the accounting. You got to know what everything stands for, and where they categorize everything in each detail. So there's going to be a transition period. And so that makes sense that he's going to stay in there for a while and basically help oversee the operations for a little bit. It's almost like a training period.
Yeah. I know I've seen some articles out there about how, some folks think this is going to quote unquote, sterilize the Boston Celtics. I don't know if that's the case, though, with this particular ownership.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think for the remaining part of the season, I don't think anything's going to change.
Yeah.
It's next year, does something change? That's the question. Mm-hmm. Does it change next time? And Eric is already on. I thought he was on the plane. Aren't you supposed to be in airplane mode? You're missing the best hosts. No, we're not missing you. We're not missing you. He's always trying to push my buttons. I thought about buying them. I was only $6.5 billion short. Well, you should have asked. I would have given you the money, Eric.
You might have to wait till the end of the week, though, for that check to cash.
Well, yeah. It always has to clear first. But, I mean, I didn't like the fact that you had an ownership in there and they were trying to get rid of the Celtics. It was awkward. And then you see them on interviews in between, waiting for the games to start on TV, and they're all excited about how they're doing. And you're not excited. You can't wait to get rid of them.
Right.
It was so fake. And I didn't like that. Yeah, you might have loved it in the beginning, but I don't know. You were not there for the Celtics. Let's just say that. Eric says, I think we need to rework my contract. Yeah, well, join the club. I'm sure a lot of people would like to rework their contract. Look, I gotta say that paying $360 million to buy the team in 2002, I think they made a little money on this deal. A little bit.
Some money. They made,
I mean, that's what a payoff. I mean,
they picked a pretty good time too, coming after a championship to sell them off.
Yeah, usually people that sell teams, they like get rid of everybody
Yeah.
and bring it down to the bottom basement, you know, and get it's just like a fire sale. But that's not how this went, and I think uh, Celtics fans are actually thanking the fact that they didn't, fire sale everything to sell the team. That would have been devastating, because it could have happened. It could have happened. When they announced that they were going to sell the team at the end of the season last year, it was a little scary. I think Celtic fans were a little worried they were just going to dump everybody and then have to start all over again. Didn't happen that way, and that's good. Uh, so, so just joining us, Boston Celtics $6.1 billion sale, or 6.5. I think the numbers are a little jumbled a little bit, but it's well over that. It's well over 6 billion. Um, Either way, it's a new ownership group. Now all we have to do is just wonder if they're going to change the name.
Yeah. Only time will tell, Ron.
Well, it could be the Boston Symphony.
Hey,
It could be.
has a nice ring to it.
It could be. You never know. You never know. It can't be any worse than some of the teams, like maybe Washington Commanders. That's a terrible name. I won't get into that, though. So it is a time to get to our next topic. If you're just joining us, I'm not Eric, and neither is James. It is, Ron and James' show today. Hopefully, Kenny will be joining us in a little bit. And so we're gonna move on. We're not gonna do basketball, because I want him to be there. So I think we're gonna go into the NCAA bracket to get things rolling. Look, I mean, there's been a lot happening. We've already had some upsets. That
Yeah.
5-12. Oh, you gotta love the 5-12. I would never want to be the number 5 seed in the NCAA. If I was college, I would not want.
McNeese State.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. I love these schools
I mean, how does
that you've
Clemson
never heard
lose
of
this
before.
game? How? I mean, it's Clemson. Weren't they like in the top 5 like almost the whole year? Till kind of like the end. Well, they kind of started falling aside, at the end there.
That's one of the magical things about the NCAA tournament is just anything can happen on any given day. All it takes is one day for your team to not be meshing. And that, to me, when I was watching, I didn't watch the whole game, watching bits and pieces of the game. But that, to me, is just like the team wasn't clicking. The team wasn't hitting on all cylinders. And that's all it takes is one game for you to not be meshing.
Thanks, Hugo, for being here. Nope. We are not the Erics. You're right. Hi, not Erics. So, yeah, it went right down to the end, too. I mean, but they pulled it off. It's startling when a team like Clemson goes down. It's like you got to wonder. It's like, oh my God, what is going on? But they weren't the only ones. They weren't the only ones. This is day 1, by the way. And Arkansas, led by, right? Calipari? I forgot that he was even coaching still.
Over the Jayhawks. And the Jayhawks looked non-existent almost the whole night. They came back a little bit in the end there. But our Arkansas dominant.
Yeah, but are we really surprised by a Kansas team though? Because they're either gonna win it all or they're gonna get upset by somebody. That's basically how it goes with them.
Yeah.
They frustrate fans so much because there's just some years they just choke, and it's pretty bad. And they got manhandled basically in this game. They weren't in it. They made a run at the end, but they weren't. They were never in the game. They were never in it. So 79-72 Arkansas. Who's Arkansas gonna play next? Wow, who would have thought that?
Yep.
And when Calipari and Patino have faced 4 times in the tournament. 4 times. That's it. You would think it would have been a lot more.
Lots of history there, yeah, but not a lot of meetings.
Yeah, not in the tournament anyway.
Yeah.
They've both won twice. So nobody has an edge. I think St. John's has a better team. I mean they're highly rated, I mean they're a number 2 seed if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep, number 2 seed, yep.
So we're going to find that epic battle. Does this matchup even matter anymore between the two coaches?
See,
I mean, think about that. Does it even matter anymore? Because remember the days where you just knew the coaches, all of them, whether Indiana, Duke, North Carolina, everybody. You knew all the coaches. Kentucky. It's not like that anymore.
it's a different age in NCAA basketball, and here's the thing. I don't know if this has to do with it. Is that the whole transfer portal, the one and dones? There's so much of that going on. That you used to have the leverage to build a team, and the coach had that identity, and he was able to transfer that whole team for at least 3 years.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. There is no identity anymore, and it seems like coaches are just jumping from place to place to place. And hi, Danny, how are you? Yes, I know your Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets without Joker and Murray, but that's besides the point. So it was all the backups going against the backups. So, you would like to think that we were going to go back to those days where, the coaches meant something. I don't think the coaches mean anything anymore.
No.
At least not in basketball. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, when you you take Pitino, for instance. When you are playing for Rick Pitino's team, it's going to be a good team, right? But nowadays, it's like people are just jumping all over the place. You get transfers, you get all kinds of stuff going on. And I remember the days, watching Bobby Knight, Coach K, all of these guys, they were identifiable with the school because they were there for so long. And now, I mean, when you think about it, how many coaches are even 5 years tenure?
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. This kind of strikes to me a little bit. Is even looking at UConn, right? Let's take them for an example here. You have Dan Hurley here, who back-to-back champions. He's in the tournament this year, but each and every team, it seems like, is a completely different team.
It is.
And you compare that to the days of Jim Calhoun, and those teams were so.
They were there.
Yeah, uniquely
44. I mean, 4 years in, right?
Right.
Now, I mean, he's had to redo his team a couple of times already because they're all leaving. It's like you get your top 5 guys; they all leave, and they're all going in the first round, and
they play in the G
you
League.
have to start from scratch, and then he does it too. So that's credit for him, right? But there's no steadiness in the college basketball games anymore. It's okay. Who's the flavor of this year?
Mm-hmm.
And that is. I mean, it's really the minor leagues when you really think about it. It's a minor league system, and the NBA teams are just bringing them up from the minors,
Yeah.
and then they put them aside in the G League if they can't make it, and that's about it. I mean, when they go to the G League, most of them, that's it. They finish
They just
there.
disappear. Yep.
Yeah. If they don't make it in the NBA, they go to the G League, and then they'll try to get a contract out in Europe somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the trend once you go down. So I don't know. I don't know if it has the same flavor, but it's certainly a game that strikes the interest for me because of those old school days. And we'll see how it happens. We'll have that game in predictions. So we're not going to give any predictions. See, Danny, I didn't say anything about your Lakers. I didn't say anything. I said, yeah, they won. Your bench players beat their bench players. Danny. So, all right. So while we're finishing up, another segment, we got to do some promoting of what we have. Of course, you're watching us on. Oh, I can't even use that one. Oh, that's terrible. I can't even use that one. Oh, well, maybe I still have the old one here. I don't know if I do, but I do have the Facebook one. So you're watching us on Facebook, so make sure you get on there, you share. Follow us. There's like 10,000 followers on Facebook, so you got to do this. You can also join us on Sports Unfolded on Facebook at Sports Unfolded. So you want to do that. And of course, we are seen on 990 WBOB .com in Providence. So we're on the internet radio in Providence. And don't forget, we're also on every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on WDJY FM Dallas, Georgia. It's Metro Atlanta, really. So I love covering some Atlanta stuff, and we will have some Atlanta news later. So you guys need to stick around there. So do that. And let's see if I can get this one right. Support the show on SECTV Public Access Channel 12 in Connecticut, Tuesday nights. So join us there if you're in Connecticut. If you're from Connecticut, are you a Connecticut? A
Close.
Connecticutian?
You're Connecticutian there, Ron.
Connecticutian? That's what it is?
Or, yeah, you can be a nutmegger.
Connecticutian it is.
A little ground nutmeg over the top of your hot chocolate. No, ever try that? Nutmegger?
That's pretty good, yeah. Yeah. All right, so it is time. I think it's time for starting 5. I don't have the fancy music because, Eric keeps that secret.
Yeah.
So I don't have
that. It's time for starting 5.
There we go. Now I got to find it because it's all over the place here. I got graphics everywhere. Oh, yeah, look at that. Starting 5 athletes that wore number 12.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if we did this before, but I know Eric didn't count, Tom Brady. So I think we did it and we didn't count Tom Brady at the time, but we're counting him. We're counting him. Mostly because I want to see what you got
We'll
at number
see.
1.
And here's the thing, all right? My number 1 is
No.
Justified. I'm just
Oh,
gonna put it
I
out.
thought
I'm
you
just
were
gonna
going to
put it
say
out.
it.
It's Justified.
All right, so the way we do things is we take turns going back and forth. I will give you my honorable mentions first, and then you'll
Yeah.
give me yours. I have 5 honorable mentions. Which would be my number 10 to be actual. Aaron Rodgers is my number 10 guy. I
Mhm.
have Terry Bradshaw as my number 9 guy. Yeah, I don't like his I love the playoff stuff. I don't like the regular season stuff.
All right.
The
We're gonna
regular
have a
season
different
stuff is
list
pretty
here,
bad.
Ron.
Yeah, well, he's got 212 touchdowns and 210 interceptions. That's too close for me. Too close.
All right.
My number 8 guy is Dwight Howard. He's got great numbers. He even has a championship, so kudos to him. My number 6 guy. Oh, I could not put this guy in. Dickie Moore.
I had
Dickie Moore.
him. Yep.
You have him. Very
I
good.
have him. Yep. Canadians.
Yes.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
And my bubble guy, that was my number 6, Roberto Alomar.
Okay.
Roberto Alomar. So those are my 5 honorable mentions. Who do you have for honorable mentions?
Add a couple more here. Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly. Yep.
Yep. And here's one. Bobby Allison. He drove the number 12.
Yes. Yes, that's awesome. Great. I remember him.
What do you have? 50 Cup wins, I think. He's up there on the overall wins
Yeah,
list.
he is up there.
NASCAR. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have to add there. You took some of my other ones. So yep.
I missed that one. I would have had him and not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I didn't. I chose not to include Aaron Rodgers on.
Yeah, I didn't want to, but I'm like, I can't. I have to put him in. But I can just sweep him aside right now and just put Bobby Allison there at the number 10 spot.
Yeah.
Any more honorable mentions?
Nope, that was it for me.
All right, so my number 5 is Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs, 328 batting average, 3,000 plus hits. The guy has 1,500 runs scored, 1,000 RBIs for a guy that wasn't, like the power hitter on the team. He's not cleaning up. He was primarily the first, the leadoff hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And with that many RBIs, that's impressive. Hall of Famer, World Series title, not with the Red Sox, though. That was really upsetting. 12-time All-Star, 2 Gold Gloves, 8 Silver Sluggers, 5 batting titles. My number 5.
Yep.
Who's your number 5?
Okay. John Stockton, Utah Jazz.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I have him at number 4.
All right.
So that one was not far off. I'm curious to see. I feel like we might have the same 5.
I'm
Except
interested to
you
see.
might have Terry Bradshaw up there. So who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Roger Staubach.
All right. So you have somebody that's pushing my guys down. Staubach's great. When you look at, the numbers don't pop out at you because the day and the age of when he played. But I look at that completion percentage, 57%. And that's why Terry Bradshaw wasn't up there.
And see,
51.9.
I put a high weight on championships.
Yes.
So
I
will,
do as well, but his numbers in there
yeah.
just didn't I didn't like them. But yards per attempt 7.7, 7.2 for Bradshaw. Again, it's like, I mean, I'm nitpicking with Bradshaw, but I do like him. I look, I'm indifferent with the some of the players that are gonna make this list
Mhm.
that don't win championships or not a big part of the championship that they win. But Staubach, with his 2 championships, clearly was a big part of that. He has 1 Super Bowl MVP. So I do like his numbers. 153 touchdowns, 109 interceptions. Those are really good numbers. I just like the percentage stuff for those older players is what
Yeah.
really matters to me. So when you look at those percentages, how are the percentages bringing forward to nowadays numbers? And his numbers excel. So that's why I had him at number 3.
Yep.
So
See, I flipped it because I had Terry Bradshaw at number 3.
and I get that because I think
Championship.
very highly of Bradshaw because of those 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That guy gets it done in the times you need it.
He got it done in crunch time. I know regular season, but
yeah, that's why he was only an honorable mention for me. But those 4 championships, woo!
Yeah,
I'll take those. I'll take those over Jim Kelly's 4 almost Super Bowls.
Something tells me we might have the same number 2.
All right, who do you have at number 2?
Even Canoyer.
Yeah, Yvonne Cornway.
I don't know how to pronounce.
You got to put the French in there. Cornway.
Cornway.
I don't know how they get it from that, but it's Canoyer.
Yeah.
But no, I mean those numbers.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Crazy. 8 championships, right? I mean,
in 8 in 16 seasons, right? In something like crazy.
50%, right? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's just like that. He's the hockey's version of Tom Brady. Yeah. 428 goals is pretty damn good. It's not like superb. It's not great like, Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you look at the day and age that this guy played, he was one of those, original offensive players, back in the day. I mean, he followed Rocket Richard, right? That was the guy. And he took the mantle from Rocket Richard and carried it to 8 championships, 428 goals, 435 assists, plus 254. A plus 254. It's crazy. 68 game winners. He's won a Conn Smythe for playoff MVP. I mean, he deserved to be number 2, and that's who I have there as well. So that's pretty awesome. I'm impressed you got those 2 guys, and it pains me because they're both Montreal Canadiens. I don't like it, but what makes up for it is number 1.
Wow.
Go ahead, say it. Who's your number 1? Come on.
Number 1's got to be, without a doubt, Tom Brady. It's got to be. You look at the numbers, man.
I didn't even write the numbers down because I didn't need to. I didn't need to. I mean, what?
So there was a thought in my head that was that when I looked at Cornway's numbers and the sheer number of championships, there was a thought in my head that said, okay, maybe, but
you can't.
You can't.
Because I mean, when you look at it, it's so hard to win, in the playoffs on these two sports, right?
And they're
It's
playing
very
in different time periods. Is you're talking about different competitiveness level. It was easier
right.
to win championships, not taken away from anything that was done, but you look at the athleticism today compared to, back
Oh yeah.
then.
Look,
Skip.
and the fact that they only had 6 teams, when
Hmm.
Conway won
Yeah.
those championships, he didn't have to face a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it is 8 championships. But when you look at the numbers of Brady, when he has more Super Bowl wins than any team in history, there is
Yeah.
no team that has more Super Bowls than Tom Brady. None. You can't say that about just about anybody else. I don't think there is another athlete anywhere that can say that.
Nope.
And to win a Super Bowl, you only have one game. Like if you're in the NHL, if you don't win the first game, you've got another game that you can play that you can change the direction, right?
Hmm.
You don't have that option in the NFL. You don't have that option. And I think because of the talent that's out there, who he had to climb over to get those championships also matters. Because, I mean, arguably, Peyton Manning is probably the best quarterback to play in the regular season. But Brady had his number.
That's
And
it.
when you're beating players like that, and there was a lot of them, it wasn't just him. He had other quarterbacks he had to climb over. And there were some good quarterbacks. Some of the best of all time. So just the percentage is what, about 48% of the time he wins the championship, he wins the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And that's
Crazy.
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 It's insane. It's insane. And it's kind of amazing. And he's one of those guys that who you're picking if you need one play or one drive, who you're picking. That's the guy that you want leading your way. So Tom Brady, number one. I'm not surprised. I knew you were going to pick him. I knew there were some players that you would have loved to have up there.
I know. Would have loved to, but can't justify it. You just.
And this is why, everybody talks about, well, who's the GOAT? The Mount Rushmore. If you're putting a Mount Rushmore in sports, does he make the list? Because, everybody wants to put, like the Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
Brady, say. But we forget about there's more than just the 4 main sports. Who
Yep.
belongs up there? Does Michael Phelps belong up there?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot to choose from. Pick a name in boxing. Roy Jones. Muhammad Ali. You're going to pick one of these guys to be up there? I don't know.
That's
I
a
don't
tough
know.
list. You start putting it.
I don't know if you can pick just 4. How about Martina Navratilova? Like, we can't even figure out if she's the GOAT in tennis or if Serena's the GOAT.
Serena Williams. Yeah.
Right? Who's their best player? I don't know. Try to pick the one in baseball. Good luck.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, there's
You
about
start dealing with some slippery stuff when you start getting into baseball.
with baseball, there's like 10 guys that could be the GOAT. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, all the usual suspects, right?
Then you start getting into the later 20th, 21st century, and you start getting tainted,
Yeah.
with the whole PEDs.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had an NHL player got busted for that about 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember the player's name, but it's like the first time in like 4 or 5 years. Interesting.
Yep.
I don't know. It's tough. I've been trying to figure it out for a while who the 4 players in sports.
Yeah. Hey, let us know out there who you think should be on the Mount Rushmore of sports.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be a great one. Danny, come on, Hugo, who's on your Mount Rushmore? Wayne Gretzky?
Who do you got?
See, like, I can't even definitively say, Jordan, because why not Bill Russell?
Yeah. Look at those championships, man. Talk about unprecedented.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what's his name there in drag racing? Ronnie Schumacher? Who's won an unbelievable amount?
Yeah. Well, there's Richard Petty too, which we're going to get into later.
Right.
Going to get into that one a little later, so I'm not going to give it away. Not going to give it away. So hopefully we hear from Kenny soon. I'm beginning to think he might not be here. So we're going to go into some NFL. If I can find it. There we go. Minnesota has
speaking of 12.
Yes, right? How about that? Fits right in.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota has stated they are not pursuing Aaron Rodgers to start at quarterback for them. They are not pursuing him. Where does that leave Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to get picked up by somebody?
See, I don't know if you heard this. There was some meetings, I guess, Aaron Rodgers' agents were supposed to have with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But every indication is that he doesn't want to be there. So you tell me, Aaron, do you want to play football or you not want to play football? You got 2 options in my head right now. You got Pittsburgh and you got the Giants. You can stay in New York.
Really?
Right. You can stay in New York. You don't even have to move locker rooms. So
that's true. That's true. Keep your locker.
So
that's funny. That's hilarious when you think about it.
Yeah, and he gets along. I mean, the thing is, he knows how to deal with the New York media. He's good with the big market team vibe. I think that makes the most sense to me is the Giants. The Giants, I don't think have a plan right now moving forward. They re-signed DeVito.
No, the Giants haven't had a plan in like 10 years.
Yeah. Do you want Cutlets as your QB this year? We saw what happened last year. Okay, unless you're just chalking it up again. But I think
he's only got 2 choices. Well, he's got 3 choices. He can just retire.
Right.
Or he can just sit out and wait for the first quarterback to get hurt.
Yeah, that's an option.
I mean, that might be his option. I mean, look, do you want to go and play for the Giants? I mean, what are you going to throw? Who are you going to throw the ball to there?
Are they going to pick up a wide receiver in the draft? I don't know.
Who knows?
You tell me. if they get Hunter, right, who knows if maybe things get a little
Hunter.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like you said, they don't know what they're doing. At least Pittsburgh has a plan all the time. They let people go and they just bring somebody else in, and they hope it works, right?
Pittsburgh has a plan that at least keeps them 50-50 or higher. They always are somewhere in the cut.
Yeah.
They're always there.
And then you throw Tomlin in there with a team that isn't supposed to succeed, and they succeed because of it. It's a good coach. Keeping them relevant after letting these free agents go, letting them go because they don't want to sign for big money. And, they still win. They do have some talent. Well, have they re-signed what's his face, the running back? Oh my god, I can't think of his name now. I can't think of his name. But anyway, I don't think they've re-signed him.
I don't think so, no.
I think running backs are going to be like the last guys off the boards. They're gonna be out there for a while. I don't know. I don't buy that he wants to sign with either of those teams because they're not a Super Bowl contender.
Well, you're right. His posturing made it clear he wanted to go to the Vikings, and the Vikings gave him the stiff arm. They said, "Nope, we're sticking with McCarthy. We feel confident what we have with him." So
because if that matter, why would you get rid of Sam Darnold, right? Why would you let him walk? So that was a given. I don't think there was ever a chance that he was going to sign in Minnesota. It just wasn't going to happen. So, it's like, I think he's sitting. And I think he's going to have to wait for a quarterback to get hurt. And that's the only way he's going to get in there. Now, with that being said, you can look at Miami.
Fragile quarterback.
Yeah. So
who knows? With the NFL season,
that would probably be his best bet with an injury, right? That's where you look.
And the thing is, you never know. We've seen it year after year. You never know what happens with injuries. A team who's not looking for a quarterback, you think they're firm, and all of a sudden, they don't have the depth at backup. Right. So what do? You go out, you try to find a guy. So if that's what he's trying to do, he wants to find a team that way. I think it's just a matter of time. The way the NFL
be the right thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Because if I'm him, I'm not signing in Pittsburgh or New York. I'm not doing it. Because I don't think those teams are going to win a Super Bowl. They can't win a Super Bowl. So I'm waiting. You never know. Who knows? Maybe Green Bay will want him back. Could you imagine if Love went down?
Who's Green Bay's backup? Is that that could be the solution right there, because I don't know who the backup is there.
Yeah, if Love goes down, I think they'll be calling. Could happen. So that is Aaron Rodgers' situation. Not a good one for him. I think he waited too long to really dive into this free agency. I thought it might be his ego that thought everybody would be calling.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean that's what the way it was. The situation with the Jets. He came in as the knight in shining armor, and he couldn't get it done. So
No, he could not.
he's thinking that's going to be the same thing again. But you can't fool teams like that too many times, and I
Nope,
don't think
you
I don't think
can't.
anyone's getting fooled this time around.
All right, so I don't know. I'm trying not to do the NBA, but I guess I kind of have to. I guess we can do split decisions first. It's time for split decisions.
That was perfect.
Oh man! So split decisions
Yep.
is here, and it's so simple. Everybody, each of us will have two more likely questions to ask each other, and if you at home, Danny and Hugo, want to play, you can always ask us a split decision question. So I went first last time, so let's see if
Mhm.
you can go first this time, James.
Yes, indeed. And I'm sticking with the theme of this week. Number 12. Is it more likely that Duke doesn't make the Final Four, or that a number 12 seed makes the Sweet 16? So
Who are the
should
12
say
seeds? Do
12,
you know who
12
the
or
12 seeds?
later seed. All we have right now is McNeese State. I don't know if there's any other 12 or later seeds that have upsets yet, because today the games are ongoing.
Let me
It's
see.
like a day filled with basketball today. It's like nonstop game after game.
I know. I was watching some of the
Yeah.
women play earlier. Latest bracket. Let's see. Let me see if there's somebody coming up. Now, that's the biggest upset, but oh my god, the thing is so small. Really? I
And the thing
can't
is,
even
Duke is a
see it.
powerhouse.
All right, where's the 12s? Wow, I can't
12,
even
12
see
or
things.
later. I don't. Yesterday, no one later than 12 seed won, but McNeese State looked good.
Yeah, Drake is an 11 seed, so that's
Yeah,
not it. Sweet 16, huh? So they
that's
basically
it.
have to
Win
win
2 games.
2 games. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see any. It would help if I had a freaking bracket the size of, you know,
A normal size bracket.
it's this thing is like puny. I can't even read the words to it. It's so like we need like a VCU or something like that, right? Can't even
VCU
read like a
lost. Yeah,
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna try the
but
four-letter
you.
word NCAA bracket. Let's see if they have a normal size bracket.
Uh,
I didn't want to use the four-letter word. Yeah, this is much
uh,
better.
yeah.
But I have to. So Liberty is playing Oregon. That ain't happening. Wow. Some of these teams just got destroyed.
Well,
Look at
here's the
Robert
thing.
Morris, though.
Would you ever think a team named McNeese State would beat
No,
Clemson?
no, but
That's the
think
thing.
about it. Gonzaga, way back in the day when they first started being
Yeah.
good. Um, Purdue beat High Point. I can't believe they beat Clemson. That is just crazy. How about Troy and Kentucky? Yeah, I'm not.
Do you tell me,
I'm
is it
not.
more likely any of these other upset, or if McNeese State wins one more game?
I
That's
think.
all. Or do you think it's more likely Duke makes the Final Four? You think that's a lot?
Yeah, I think it. I don't know. You know what? I thought I might take. I might take the 12 or more. I think they could win another one. They're playing Purdue though. Oof.
Tough.
Yeah. Well, is Colorado State playing? You know what? I'm gonna take the 12 or higher. I'm gonna take the 12 or
All
higher.
right.
Colorado State and Maryland, they could be had.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
Colorado State is a 12 seed and they beat Memphis
Ah.
today.
Ooh.
Memphis went
All
down.
right.
Another 5-12. Oh my God.
Wow. There's two right there. One of those teams can win one more game.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Liberty can pull out the upset against Oregon.
But you think, though, what's the chances now of Duke? Well, they lost 4 games all year, I think. What are we? I mean, the only thing here is the unpredictability of the NCAA tournament. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's the thing.
It's like we don't. I mean, you look at they have to play Baylor next. Baylor's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let
Let us
and
know
they
out
might
there,
have to
guys. If
play
anyone's
Oregon.
listening right now, what do you think?
Yeah.
Let
I
us
mean,
know.
they'd have to play the winners, maybe possibly Oregon and Arizona. I don't think they make it. I don't think they make it. I don't think they run through that. I'm taking the 12 plus. Great question. I loved it. Fond Dependence. Thank you for watching. Yeah, Stream Boo. Stream Boo. All right, let me see. Here we go. Let's do this one because it was relevant a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where is my question? Did I write the question down? Oh, yes, here it is. What record is more likely to fall first? Byron Nelson's 18 wins on the PGA Tour in a year. It has been standing since 1945.
Wow.
He
That's a
won
stonewall.
18 of 35 events. 18.
Is there still 35 events on the PGA Tour?
I'm sure there is, but most players don't play all of them.
Right, exactly.
Because they start in February, I think, and they run all the way until like November.
Yeah. But you have guys picking and choosing, you have like, what was it, Rory McIlroy backed out of the
Yep.
the Open that was over here in Cromwell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that one.
All right.
There's also Nolan Ryan's 5,714 strikeouts. Get this. Active leaders. Justin Verlander, 3,416. He's on his last leg.
Yeah.
Schwarzer, who's got 3,407. He's almost on his last leg.
His arm is jello at this point.
Yeah, Kershaw, 2,968. And Chris Sale, 2,414. Those are the closest to him right now.
Jeez. That's a good one.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, Randy Johnson got close.
Well,
He
no,
only
but
missed it by 900.
Only 900, you say?
Randy Johnson missed it by 900.
Jeez.
How great was Nolan Ryan?
Talk about a record. Now, here's the thing, and I think this is almost like I have to choose it by default. Which one? So, which one is more likely to fall first?
Oh no, I got one more for you. This one might be the one.
Oh, okay, all right.
And it all goes back to Richard Petty.
Oh yeah.
Now this is scary too. Don't underestimate this one. Richard Petty, his 200 NASCAR wins.
Now,
active leaders. Jimmy Johnson with 83, who's now only part-time.
Yeah, he races like 4 times a year.
Yeah. Right. And
So
then the second guy, Kyle Busch, has 63. He still needs 137.
so I'm gonna tell you why that one right there is never going to fall. Here's a couple of things. Back in those days, it was run what you brung. So there was no standardization, there was no restrictor plates, there was no
Right.
you can't race this, you can't rate that. But also they were racing like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yes.
So I think that rules that one out for me. I don't think there's any way that you can catch a record when you're only racing once a week. There's only so many weeks in a year. A
Right.
and B, you can, it's too much. There's too much variables that NASCAR is ruling out. You can't have a souped up car that just blows everyone
Weight,
out of the water.
tires,
Yeah,
and
everything.
there's all kinds of tire rules and,
Yeah,
pit stop rules. It's going to be very difficult to accomplish.
yeah. I don't see that one ever going away.
Yeah.
Um,
Crazy, isn't
and
it? And I didn't
that's a
even get some of
that's a
the
wild
ridiculous
record.
ones.
Yeah,
I mean, these to me are some of the more attainable, impossible things.
hmm yeah, yeah.
So
I
those
mean
are your
it.
choices,
Which one is more likely to be beaten? Man.
right? Which one is
So
more
all right.
likely to fall first?
So there, I'm ruling out the NASCAR one. I don't think that one's ever failing. And that kind of gets me to, by default. I think I'd have to go with the PGA Tour is more
Byron
likely to
Nelson,
fall.
right?
Yeah. And here's why. Because I think the way the MLB is today, again, this kind of goes back to the athleticism and the demands on pitchers
Yeah.
is I think that as soon as you show signs that your arm is starting to turn to jello, they're gonna yank you. I mean, you
Oh yeah.
saw it in, you
You're looking
saw
at
it in
6 innings tops.
right, right. You're not gonna have somebody. You don't see pitchers play 9 innings.
No, and that's why I didn't do like the shutout record or the complete
Yeah,
games record because then they're not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
no. Uh, and I
So
think
yeah,
the pitch limiting your pitch count is going to rule this out. Is going to rule that record out. He's never. I don't think he's ever going to have that record be touched.
the only way it's going to happen is going to have to be a knuckleballer,
Yeah.
and that isn't going to happen either because. I mean, you could be great 2-3 innings, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off, and everybody's hitting it.
Yeah.
So I think you're right with
Yeah.
that, and I do agree with the PGA one. I look, that's not easy, but some
But at
guy
least
comes
it's
on like a Tiger
fathomable.
Woods type.
Who
You never
knows?
know.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a little more doable. You got to
Yeah.
play a lot though,
Yeah. And
and
also
you
you
got to
got to
stay
hope
healthy.
that the PGA Tour doesn't actually merge with LIV Golf because then your competition just got 10 times harder.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's not like a
Yeah.
split league anymore.
No.
So great answers.
Yeah, that was a great one.
All right, what's your second one?
All right, here we go. Team most likely to get 12 wins next year in the NFL. The Washington.
You brought it today. You brought it today.
I brought it. Washington Commanders or the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm gonna go Commanders. I think when it comes to like say rookie quarterbacks, it's very rare that several teams are gonna hit. And now Washington he's gonna be in his second year for Daniels, right?
Yeah, but what about the sophomore slump? Look at how often that is.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if McCarthy can even.
Yeah, you're right.
We
He's
don't even
coming
know if
off
he
an
can do it.
injury. He's coming off of a crazy injury. Yeah.
So there's so many ways that their season can go. Now, do I think they can still win 10 games? Yeah, I do. I don't think they can win 12 because they have a tough division right now. So I think with that factor, he loses at least 3 games in his own division. That's the way I see it. And they're gonna have to, be perfect outside of that division in order to get anywhere. But I think the way Daniels played in the playoffs, I'm very confident he can come back and do the same thing because everybody's going to be doubting it, and he's going to have to go out there and prove to everybody again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he can do it. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of talent. And I think the class itself has been better than the last several quarterback classes. Going back to, Lawrence, Jones,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with you.
that was a
Yeah.
terrible class.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd probably go Washington here. I mean, I think that Minnesota has more pieces on offense, an exception to the
Right,
quarterback.
right.
But are they going to strike lightning again like they did last season? I don't know if they will.
I mean, I would like to see that happen, but in a way, I kind of wish, I kind of hope it goes the other way because, it gives a little credit to Sam Darnold. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't want either of those quarterbacks to fail. I don't hate them. It's not like I want like Patrick Mahomes to fail. Even though I know Patrick Mahomes is good. I just don't want him getting too close.
You don't want them to
No. We don't want that conversation.
start growing horns and
Yeah, no,
saying,
I don't want him to start
"Bah."
growing horns. It's a good way of putting it. All right, my last question. What is my last question? What is more likely to happen? More likely to happen. Ovechkin breaks the Gretzky goals record this season. Ovechkin ties the record. Or Ovechkin falls short and has to do it next season. Now, just so you know, he needs 7 goals to break it, 6 to
Okay.
tie. He's got 13 games.
That's only regular season, right?
Regular season. Does
Okay.
not count in the playoffs.
How many games are left, Ron?
13, I believe.
You know what? I don't think he does it this season. I think there's too many variables there that he's going to have to come back next season and play a couple games to break the record.
I was thinking that. I was thinking he was just going to be like one short of tie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's hard to do, getting 7 goals in 13 games.
That's the math. Unless they feed him the puck all the time,
And
even if they
that.
do,
I think they do that anyway. But that's
right? Yeah.
Let him score? Hell no. There is no way.
No one's gonna let him score that way.
Look, and here is the fearful part of me. The Bruins play them. I think it's their 11th game from now in Boston. And my fear is that they're the ones that are going to give up that record. That's the fear in me. They'll give up like a hat trick to him, and
yeah,
because right now they stink. They stink. They're awful.
Yeah, they do.
And I don't understand why they don't have all the kids up from Providence playing. Merkulov, Patra, and Lizell all should be playing all of these games instead of Brown, Kepke, and freaking anybody else that's a scrub. Letary. There's no future in them. But anyway, so you say that he's going to fall short.
Yeah, I think he's going to fall short. I kind of hope he does so we can see him come back. I don't know if he was trying to retire after this season on top.
I don't know.
But
he might have. He might have.
Either I think, yeah, I could see, especially if they go, if they, I mean, they're looking good if they win the cup, and he breaks the record. I don't think there'd be any doubt in my mind he'd be going. But
the Kings are very good, Danny. I do have to give you that. That's the LA team that you should be bragging about. They're really good. Unlike the other guys.
Yeah.
Root for the Clippers. Root for the Clippers. All right, that was split
good.
decision. I guess I'm giving up hope that Kenny will be here. So we're gonna talk some basketball. Seeming now that Danny is really desiring the Laker talk, right? So we'll talk about those Denver Nuggets, which is pretty close because so Jokic and Murray sat out their second straight game, and then they also lost to the Lakers on that second game. Should Denver be concerned?
So here's the thing. I think they should be more concerned with Murray with a sprained ankle. An ankle sprain is something that is harder to come back from. I think Jokic is a bruised elbow, right? Yeah. I think he's just going to be a matter of time. He's going to be fine. But I think the lingering issue is the ankle sprain. Is this going to have bigger implications?
That's hard on a basketball player.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I don't know that they should necessarily be worried. I think they're in a decent spot. I think that they still played well despite having those injuries. Yeah. So I think worried is a strong word. I think they should just be careful.
A little cautious, maybe.
A little cautious. Just watch it.
Yeah, because if you go in a slump,
yeah,
you could find yourself out of the play-in. I mean, in the play-in rather than, being above that. If they were a play-in team, do I pick them to win the playoff? Yeah, I get them in the playoffs anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you slip down too far, then you're starting to play better teams rather than having to play that first play-in team as the number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the problems begin, and there's some other teams that are going to be in the same situation in a different sport. But, it is not unlike... It's not unlike this division this conference right now to have some issues. And they're all jockeying for position. You got, 5 teams battling for that number 2 spot and all the way through 6. And then you got the teams that are just trying to claw their way up into that 6th spot. And that's not that big of a gap. So if Jokic and Murray are out, say, I don't know, 3-4 games, that could be troublesome. Because then you start slipping. If you got to go to the 6th seed, then you got to play somebody, like the Lakers at home or Houston at home, and That becomes a little
Yep.
more difficult. But I mean, I think they're okay. I mean, it's Joker. You know, I think he'll probably stay out maybe another game or so. But they gotta be a little cautious. They gotta play a solid game until they get their guys back. Murray's, I don't know how long that could take. A sprain in the NBA could linger.
That's the worrisome part there. Can they play with only Jokic?
Yeah, I think they can.
Yeah.
So, Danny says Rick Carlisle needs to be the head coach for the Denver Nuggets. Why? Why? I think they're doing okay. I don't think they have to worry, Danny. I don't think they have to worry. They're making the playoffs. Let's see if they can turn the light switch on, though, when they get to the playoffs. That's the thing. I think there's only 3 teams that can do that. Actually, 2. All right, so another thing popped up. What about this guy? Did you see that? He hurt his ass.
No.
He came crashing down, and he's got a bruised pelvic.
Ooh.
I guess they got MRIs. I don't know the results of those MRIs. So
When was
that
this,
could
last
be
night?
something- This was last night, late last night.
Wow. Okay.
So he left the game. They still managed to win, thanks to some other guys that stepped up. Butler got a big block at the end of the game to preserve the win. So now we talk about being concerned. Golden State is the 6th seed and is only up by like a game and a half from the play-in. This is a team that really needs to worry.
This is a concern. I'd be looking at those MRIs and saying, what do we got to do to get him back on the court? Because he's the identity of Golden State. He is Golden State.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think he's the best player. I think he's not. Let me rephrase that. I think he's been the best player for at least a decade. At least.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 15 years. It isn't that other guy, the Kings league. It's Curry's league. So him being out a long period of time can really hurt Golden State's chances.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they slip into that play-in, you never know what happens from there. And I would much rather play the 3 seed than the number 1 or 2 seed. You know, and the fact that they were playing so well, they might have jumped up into the number 3 spot.
Yeah, or even worse, who knows? I mean, how bad is this injury going to be? How long is he going to be out?
Right.
You know, if it takes him out, that can just wreck a team mentally.
Maybe they can just like tape a pillow to his ass, so that. Stop it, Ron. Rick, I already read that. My Lakers in the playoffs, right? Yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe if they don't like keep sitting out games for these fake injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. Fake injury. Like he does every year in March when he has a tough schedule. I'm going to get all over you again, Danny, on it. You want to keep bringing up the Lakers? I'll keep punching back. Keep punching back. Every year. 5 years in a row now, he's been out in March because of these long stretches of tough games.
He needs a little rest time, Ron. He's got to try to build up his strength for the playoffs.
Yeah. Playoffs. Playoffs? Oh, alrighty. So that is the NBA. Look, Golden State,
Stuff.
Lakers, Houston, Denver, Memphis. What a jumbled mess they are. Jumbled mess. Doesn't matter. OKC's coming out of that conference. It's not even close. Not even close. OKC, Boston. That's the way it looks to me. And that scares me because they can't beat OKC. They can't beat them. I don't know.
OKC, scary.
It is. All right, what do we got left? We've got we still have the NHL, MLB, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did we not do? Oh no, we didn't do NHL. Oh crap.
No, we didn't do NHL yet.
All right, so let's go into the NHL. Oh, see, that looks terrible.
Is it dripping oil?
Yeah, the dark cloud has come over Edmonton the past couple of days here.
It's got an oil leak.
Yeah, they had Draisaitl was out going into last night's game, right? And last night was a complete disaster for Edmonton.
Yeah.
Both
McDavid and Stuart Skinner left with injuries.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, right? Now here's the problem. They were 2 points out from first place. But they were only 4 points ahead of the Kings for second place. Now, it is conceivable that they lose that second seed. I mean, when your goaltender is going to be out and your two top scorers, that ain't good. That ain't good. Now, it's a pretty good team. Even without those three players, they'd still be better than the Boston Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
And lucky for them, they got the Boston Bruins rolling in there pretty soon. So lucky for them, they know they got to win there.
Yeah.
Because they're giving it up to everybody. Bruins can't even get 20 shots on net.
No.
Can't even do it. 3 games in a row. First time in Boston Bruin history that they went 3 games in a row without getting 20 shots on net. First time in history. 101 years. They suck. So Edmonton, no problem. You know you're winning that game. And Trent Frederick will probably have a hat trick against his former team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a given. You don't think he's going to come to play? But other than that, they might have a hard time getting wins. That could be a tough one. So, I mean, McJesus is like, he's clearly the best player in the league when he's healthy. But the problem is, last couple of seasons hasn't exactly been an easy ride. He's showing signs of wear and tear. So, I mean, do you think Edmonton can... I think they'll still make the playoffs. That's not the question.
But will they slide? Are they going to take a slide?
Problem. Because if they do slide, you got to worry about Colorado, Dallas, Vegas. I mean, you will have to play your first game on the road if they continue to slide.
Yeah.
If they get third place in that division, they're playing on the road. That ain't good. That ain't good. So we got to keep our eyes out for that one. It could derail their playoff push. I mean, this is a team that came up just short last year.
Yeah, I haven't heard any updates on McDavid or Skinner. I think those were some contact injuries, right? So
Skinner hasn't. He's in concussion protocol.
Okay.
With McDavid, it looks like something to do with the groinage area.
Oof.
I guess he got kind of hooked from behind. But and I think it might have caused him to just skate funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't anything, malicious on the player's part,
Yeah.
but it just kind of was an awkward thing, and I think he kind of tweaked his groin.
Yeah. Now, Draisaitl is day to day, so it's possible they'll get him back in the next game or two.
Yeah. So, they might sit Draisaitl out until after the Bruins, because they don't need him for the Bruins. I mean, let's be real. They don't need him for the Bruins.
No, they can call up players for the Bruins and be good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all you need really is Trent Frederick to be out there. I mean, you can just put him by himself, and he's going to play so good, he's going to destroy Boston just by himself.
Yeah.
Just saying. They'll probably put in Max Jones for that game, and he'll probably light it up. Guy never scored for the Bruins. He'll have 3. Frederick and Max Jones will have hat tricks each.
That's the way it always is.
Yeah. All right, let's go to baseball. Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. Oh, wrong one. I did it a second time. Wrong one.
Uh-oh.
Can Verdugo, who just got signed by Atlanta for 1 year, $1.5 million, can he rebound? Is he going to make any difference?
I don't know. I think he needs to find a role on this team. I mean, the thing is, I mean, they're bringing him. I guess what they're saying is they're going to put him down in the AAAs for a little bit and see how he does down there.
Try to get his game back.
Yeah, because that's the thing. He's missing identity.
Yeah.
I don't know that he finds it in Atlanta. I don't know that he's had it since he was in Boston.
Yeah, like the first 2 years was okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was still that promise, there was still a high ceiling on him. Yeah. And then it just, I don't know what happened. Something happened in that locker room that, and I remember when they let Bogarts go, it was like a different team. And I'm not saying Bogarts was the guy that made things happen, but I think Bogarts was the guy that made things happen. I think he was the one that brought that team together, to be honest with you. Yeah. You never saw him. He was never too high, never too low. That steady, let's work hard. That's what he brought to the team. It kept Devers happy because they were really close friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the way things went down wasn't really kosher. They brought in Story to play second base, and then they shipped out Bogarts, right?
Yep.
I think there was a split locker room. And I remember Verdugo having problems with the manager. And it was like a bunch of ticky-tack things that kept going on. And once that happens, it's over, right? And they traded, I guess it must have been so bad, they actually traded him to the Yankees.
When does the Red Sox trade to the Yankees?
Babe Ruth, that was it.
Right. Exactly.
And they learned their lesson, right?
Right.
So it must have been so bad.
He didn't last long.
Yeah, it was so bad that they had to trade him to the Yankees? Really?
Mm-hmm.
that gets you wondering what was going on, because that team was terrible last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, he has a lot of talent, and he's a pretty good defender too. I mean, he can make some plays. Sometimes he makes a mistake out there, but all in all, he was a pretty good defensive player as well. And he had some pop. He was capable of hitting for an average. He was a contact batter. Just something went wrong. And I don't know. And then it got worse in New York.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's the personality issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to overcome being traded for Mookie Betts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you live up to that? You can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. Mookie Betts is loved by just about everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's always smiling,
Yeah.
And then you see what he does with the bat. I mean, how do you live up to that? So I think there's definitely a confidence issue. And that's probably why he's starting out in the minors.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hoping. I mean, the risk is minimal, right? 1.5 million. If you get the Verdugo from Boston in his first couple of years there, that's great. That's what you want. But if not, it's like, oh well, nothing we can do about it. We tried.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move on. But if he does what they need him to, you've got yourself a bargain. So we'll see what happens. Atlanta Braves, hopefully they can get a little bit better luck. They took a lot of losses in the offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, losing Max Fried, that's a big loss. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, wow. I guess we're up to pick and roll. Pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
There we go. Oh, and again, the wrong one. See, where's Kenny? That would have been perfect if Kenny was there. All right, so pick and roll. That is this season's 2024-25 NBA players with at least 12 rebounds per game.
Mm-hmm.
And those players are Domantas Sabonis, Karl Anthony Towns, Nikola Jokic, Ivica Zubac, Walker Kessler, household names, and Giannis
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Auntie Giannis.
Yes.
So those are the players. You went first in picking. Split decisions. So I will go first in pick and roll, and then you'll give me yours and compare and see who's there. If you want, give us your list in order.
Mm-hmm.
My number 6 is Ivica Zubac. 10 points, 8 rebounds, 1.3 points per game. No accolades whatsoever. I have him at number 6, even though his numbers are better than Walker Kessler's, who is at 9.4, 9.2 boards, and 1.1. The problem is Walker Kessler's only been here for a couple of years, so he has more of an upside. So I give him the lead in that because of that. And I think the way he's playing this year it's better than what Zubac is going to give. Number 4, I have Domantas Sabonis. 16.1 points, 10.6 boards, 4.9 assists. It's pretty good. Those are good numbers. Those are pretty good numbers. Double. 3 All-Stars, 2 rebound titles, 2 All-NBA, and that was good enough to give him 4th for me. But then there's the other 3, right? Karl Anthony Towns, the 23 points, 11.1 boards, 3.2 assists, great numbers. You can argue the fact that he could be number 2. It's close. The numbers are very similar. But 5 All-Stars and 2 All-NBA and a Rookie of the Year. That got him solidly at number 3, and it was close for number 2. Giannis I have at number 2. Yes, I have Giannis at number 2. 23.8 points, 9.9 rebounds per game, 4.9 assists. He's got 9 All-Stars, 8 All-NBA, 1 championship, 2 MVPs, 1 Finals MVP, 5 All-Defensive, and 1 Defensive Player of the Year. And it was really close. I almost put Giannis ahead of him. See, he thinks he's number 1.
Are you trying to phone home?
Elliot, phone home. But I put Jokic. I put Nikola Jokic at number 1, 21.6 points, 10.9 rebounds, 7.2 assists. Now, I got to say, that assist total was part of why I put him ahead, because that's impressive for a big man. That's impressive. 7 All-Stars, 2 less than Giannis. 6 All-NBA, 2 less than Giannis. 1 championship, the same. 1 Finals MVP, the same. But he does have 3 MVPs. So with the MVP, it's splitting hairs. Like, it's like super close, because I do like the all-defensive with Giannis as well. I would love to see these 2 guys on the same team.
Holy cow.
I mean, that would be just unreal.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need something. 5 players. They would only need those 2. And when those 2 need rest, then you put in 5 players. I mean, it's that close with those 2. It's really that close. And Karl Anthony Towns, fantastic player as well. He just hasn't been longer than as long as those 2. So, I mean, the numbers are all comparable. I mean, they're all on the same trajectory. Same path. The same path. The player that plays longer, like Giannis, has played for another season, an extra season, right? And then Joker.
Yeah.
And then Joker has like another season over Karl Anthony Towns, maybe 2. So they're all on that same path. You see the numbers; they're just staggered, right? And I think they're all right there. Oh my God, these 3 guys.
They're close.
That's the face. That's the face right there of the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I did swap them out a little bit on my list towards the end there. So I have Walker Kessler at number 6.
Yeah.
Because at number 5, Ivica Zubac, I didn't have as big of a problem with the lack of experience there. I think his numbers are better than Kessler, and that's why I'm going to put him at number 5.
Yeah, that's totally, that's totally understandable. 9 out of 10 people would do that.
Yep. Sabonis, number 4. And then 3, Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so those are all the same as you. However, here I'm going to swap
Yeah.
it again, though. I got to go,
Yep.
Jokic,
Giannis
number
number 1.
2. Giannis has got to be number 1 for me.
And
I just think
that's totally understandable too, because like when you look at those defensive, and he was defensive player of the year as well.
Yeah.
That's a big part. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just a beast.
That's a tight, super, super tight list, especially 1,
It
2, and 3. So
yeah, no, it is. That was, and I looked at it as like, oh, this is going to be easy, and then I'm like, wait, no, it's not going to be easy. It's not
no.
going to be easy, and it was a great list. It really was, because it's like pairs.
Mhm.
I mean, Sabonis is probably the easiest player to put there. He's clearly in the middle of all those players, right?
Clear middle guy, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was a great list. Love
That was
it.
good.
All right. I knew we were going to run late today because I just keep talking. Eric is like, boom. He likes to just,
Keeps it
I swear
going.
he times it. I swear he times it. I just like going. Wherever the conversation goes, it goes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And,
Hey, Ron.
and frankly, we have 2 hours on the radio.
Yeah. And, that brings me to the radio. So, Ron, can you tell the people what they want to hear? You know what I'm talking about. How?
You want me to promo?
Tell us how, Ron. I got to know.
All right. First of all, I want to thank everybody in the Dallas, Georgia area at 99.1 WDJY FM, Dallas, Georgia, Metro Atlanta. Thank you for being here every week at Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Dallas, Georgia area. And also, thank you to 990WBOB.com for putting us on your internet radio. Thank you so much. And also, you also could watch us every Tuesday in Connecticut at SECTV Public Access Channel number 12 in Connecticut, Southern Connecticut, right? Now, you can also, if you're a business and you want to sponsor the show, all you have to do is send us an email at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com, and we can send you out all the information you need to know. So we'll send you that media kit, and it's simple, James. It's simple. All you have to do, it's like going to your local coffee shop, buying an Irish coffee. Can you do that at a local? Maybe not. All right. So just a virgin Irish coffee.
There you go.
A virgin Irish coffee. And one of those St. Patrick's Day donuts.
Mm-hmm.
That you got Monday, right? Did you get one Monday? But it costs less than that, James, is what the point is. It costs less than that. So please email us. Get your name up there in the corner, or down below. We can have a nice banner down below, or we can make these graphics into your whole banner. Ooh, how would that be? That would be nice, huh? So, and
Great
don't be afraid.
opportunity.
Don't be afraid to go to Patreon at RI Broadcasting, and you can get all kinds of merch like this mug that I've been drinking out of all show long. Mugs, pens, coasters, all kinds of stuff. You can even buy a video, one of our shorts, and then we just take it down from like YouTube and all that, and because then you'll have it. It's yours. $3. So that's all great, and it is time now for our predictions. And the funny thing is, Eric was on a plane. I couldn't get the prediction graphics from him. So I have no idea who won. I don't know who did what last week.
But we can assure you, someone did.
Yeah, I'm sure someone did. Where is the right? And here, nope, that's not the right one. Nor is that. Did I delete it? I think I deleted it. Well, that's unfortunate. So no graphic. Okay. So we'll just put this one up for now.
Yeah, use your imagination.
Yes, so it is predictions time. So Danny, Hugo, I hope you're ready. They've been
Anybody
quiet.
else out there? If you got some
There's
predictions.
definitely people watching. That I know. So if you're in Atlanta, look, you got to come join us live on Friday nights at 6 p.m. so you can put in your 2 cents. So, yeah, Danny, I hope you're out there. This was his last comment. That was a while ago. So, yeah, so let's do this as soon as I can find NBA predictions. Denver at Houston on March 23rd. That is, I believe, Sunday. So, what do you like on that one, James?
I got to go Houston here, especially with what we were talking about earlier with the injuries coming out of Denver.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go Houston. Houston has been playing well. Don't they have like an 8 or 9 game winning streak?
Yeah,
They've been playing well.
they're on a tear.
They are. They are soaring like a rocket. Houston Rockets. Go figure. So, I'm feeling a little insulted, Hugo and Danny. You haven't posted your prediction. So, hopefully they're still out there. Also, this weekend, which is that today? The 21st? Yes, tonight.
21st, that's today.
Memphis,
Yes, it is.
Memphis at the LA Clippers. Memphis at the Clippers. Clippers trying to stay in this thing.
I'm going to go Memphis on this one. I think they're clawing.
I am going to go the Clippers. Look, I like the way Harden's playing. He still has it. As long as there's no pressure, right? If there's no pressure, he's going to do well. And it's not playoff time yet. So if it was playoffs, there was no way I'd go Clippers. No way. All right, NHL. The 22nd, Carolina at LA Kings. Carolina at LA Kings. I got the LA Kings in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you on this one. I like how they've been playing.
Yeah, and they can catch Edmonton, so I think they're gonna be fired up. Gonna be fired up. All right. Also on the 22nd, Florida at Washington. OV. Florida at Washington. This is a tough game. Florida is very good defensively.
I got to go Florida here. I like the defense. And I think they're just going to be. I think it's going to be Washington's too predictable. They're going to be feeding the puck to Ovechkin. All you got to do is shut him down.
I agree. I think that their defense is too good to let them, just force feed Ovechkin. I think they're too good for that. I think they limit his chances, and yeah, I just think
Yeah.
they're too deep. They're too deep. I still have no confidence in Washington. I have
Yeah.
no confidence. All right, so we go up to the NCAA men's, and tonight,
March Madness.
number 9 Oklahoma versus the number 8 Yukon Huskies.
I think it's a late tip-off. This is like a 9:45 tip-off tonight, I want to say.
Yeah, it is a very late tip-off.
Yeah. I'm going UConn. I think it's March Madness, baby.
Yeah,
You know, UConn comes alive.
I go with the coach, right?
Yeah.
He gets it done at this time
Yep.
of the year. He gets it done. So I agree with you. I think UConn gets it done. Those teams, those are two good teams. That should be a great game, actually. I might actually watch that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good one.
All right. Tomorrow, number 10 Arkansas and number 2 St. John's, Calipari,
Mm-hmm.
Pitino. I am going with St. John's. I'm going with Rick Pitino. I think the team is too deep. Arkansas has some good players, but I don't think they're as deep as St. John's is. St. John's is for real.
Yeah. No, there's some great story here, great history between these two coaches. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to St. John's just being dominant. They have just been dominant this year.
Yep.
That's why I gotta go St. John's.
Yeah, Eric told me before, way before that we went on, that he was going to go St. John's. So, but he can't just do one. So I'm not letting him do one, because to me that's easy. So I'm not letting him go 1-0 today. It's not happening. Not happening. It's all or nothing. All or nothing, Eric. You get nothing and like it. All right, we have MLS. Who doesn't love soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, there weren't a lot of good games for this coming week for the MLS. A lot of lopsided games. So I had to go with Philadelphia at St. Louis. That is tonight. It's also a late start. I think it's like a 10 o'clock game, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't make sense. It's only in St. Louis.
Wow.
But
yeah. Going Philly.
So am I. Yeah. It's Philly's year. It's the year of Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Philadelphia Phillies don't win the World Series this year. Wouldn't that be something?
I would. Hopefully,
it's not going to be the Flyers, so somebody else has to be good. So it's either soccer or baseball.
We'll let him have Ron. Let's give him soccer.
Okay, let's give him soccer. Yeah, okay.
Give him soccer.
All right. Moving on. Oh, that leaves us what? NASCAR. Now I know my driver didn't finish last week. Did not finish. In fact, I think somebody told me that he was hitchhiking around the track and nobody picked him up.
That's rough.
So he never got to finish. Your guy, I think, finished like 13th or something like that.
Yeah.
It was not good. I've had the week before, my guy came in like 28th. So my last two picks, not good. Not good. So this week I am going with Kyle Larson.
What?
Kyle Larson.
That's who I'm going with also, Kyle Larson. He's this is
There we go. See?
he
I
is the
had to do
betting
something
favorite here.
different. I haven't picked him yet this year. I picked him a
No.
lot last year, and I won
No.
with him several times.
Yeah, I haven't picked him yet this year either. I think my normal go-to guy is Chase Elliott, but I don't like him as much at this track.
Yeah. So Kyle Larson, he's going to win this. He's going to win this, and he's going to bring home two points for us for that. 2 points.
Yeah.
So, hey, look, we made it to final thoughts, and it's good because we have to get it done in a hurry because now I let it go too long.
Uh-oh.
So, final thoughts. What do you got for your final thought?
Yeah, real quick here, my final thought is the NCAA tournament. North Carolina made it in, and there were so many other better teams. And did you happen to see that the athletic director for North Carolina is part of the committee that decides whether or not they make it? I think they need to reevaluate how they choose teams for the NCAA tournament.
A
There's
little sketchy.
yeah. I'm not going to go into the stats here. We don't have time, but let me just put it this way. There were at least 3 other teams with better records against the same quality caliber of teams. So,
yeah, I there's been a lot of talk about this. Like for the past couple of weeks, I've been hearing it. A lot of this. So, great job. Awesome. James, I really want to thank you for being here. It was great having you. It's better than looking at Eric's mug all the time, you know.
oh, you missed Eric.
Yeah, of course, because I don't have to do as much. You know, I just have to argue against him, and then that makes it easy. But we've been agreeing a lot today, and that's scary.
Yeah, it's true.
My final thought today is for Bronny James. You know, a lot of this crap that goes around and all this LeBron stuff and all, poor Bronny gets a raw deal out of all of it. Having to deal with his father not there on the court last night, and what does Bronny do? 17 points for Bronny last night. I seen some good play from him last night. So Danny, I'm giving your Lakers a little bit of credit here. You get rid of your dad, you know, LeBron, and Bronny, the son, does a great job. So I just want to congratulate him for a great game that he played. And he brought home a win. You know, that's good. I'm happy for him.
Yep.
So at least he's showing some flashes now. Much better when you're out of the shadow. Much better. You should ask for a trade. Trade your father. All right, that's all. That's all we have time for. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time. Thank you, James. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for having me.